Indeed. Let's talk about Spitzer for a second in regards to what I consider to be a highly racist commentary that's occurred on more than one occasion. We're not just talking about a single example of this. The one that made headlines a couple of weeks ago was in regards to a double homicide in which he basically claimed the culprit was dating a white woman to get out of bad circumstances was one of the things he said. And when he was called on it and confronted by that, what he tried to clarify his point, and as far as I'm concerned, it didn't get any better. It wasn't improved. He basically said, I meant black men improved their stature in the community by dating white women. This is as racist as the initial comments. I mean, come on now. Then he went on to go speak at some conference somewhere. The video surfaced, and you see him using the N-word multiple times. He also says camel jockey in regards to referencing crime reports. Understood that these are crime reports and they weren't his initial words. But the slide even said N-word, and he chose to use the full word as opposed to saying N-word, while he censored himself for using the F word. So where I'm coming from on that is that if it trips off your tongue that easily, is probably something you've said multiple times in the past in private. And given his first example with the double homicide, I think that's probably true. Do you think this is going to weigh heavily in the race? I think the people of Orange County are probably a little bit fed up with these kinds of things, because at the end of the day, people want criminal justice to be about that. They don't want it to be, unfair and uneven in how it's applied.
Absolutely, Tina. Yeah, listen, Todd Spitzer ran on a platform of cleaning up the office. And, it's ironic that in his 3 or 4 years in office, he has brought more scandals and lawsuits and problems to the office of this county than his predecessor, Tony Rackauckus, did in 20 years. I think, yes, absolutely. I think, Todd Spitzer's racism is absolutely playing a part in this race. I hear from communities in places like Santa Ana and Anaheim and Buena Park, and communities that I think have never known that they can and should have a voice in our criminal justice and law enforcement systems. And those types of comments have awoken communities to the problems in the criminal justice system, or put them over the top. I think they've known about the problems for a long time. They've felt them. But I think hopefully they see that they have a champion in me now who will make sure that they have that voice and listen to them, co-govern with them, in fact. And the comments were awful. I, in particular, tried to explain a racist comment by making a more racist comment. It was really, it was, if it wasn't shocking. So awful, then yeah,
it's shocking, really, because he doesn't hear himself. The fact that he tried to clarify that by saying something that was more racist was pretty shocking, in the sense that he didn't think it was racist, right? So when it came out of his mouth, he thought this was perfectly acceptable rhetoric when it's clearly not.
Exactly. Yeah.
So also, I wanted to bring up a particular case that is going through the justice system now that I understand is very controversial for many reasons. Tatiana Turner, who is a BLM activist, has been charged with attempted murder for her actions at a protest. I want to talk about this for a second, because I think it's an example of where his racism might come into play and where excessive and aggressive prosecution may come into play. The question is she guilty of attempted murder? So that particular protest, for folks that aren't clear, was at Yorba Linda. Well, we were there present filming. I can tell you that it was unbelievable. Really racist comments flying back from the Trump people, threats. One of them was going on about how this was a civil war, and if the left didn't already know it was a civil war, they needed to wake up.
His mom to say whatever. It looks like that guy right there is the one you need to talk to, bro. It seems like he's the one that's instigating. You're talking shit to an old man right here, bro. Why don't you fucking turn around and go talk to them? Go worry about what the fuck you have to say. You're talking to this guy. Why don't you talk to that guy? Why don't you? We're having a what?
Retreat.
A retreat?
Are coming in an aggressive way.
Good. I'm glad you have to retreat. We don't like you.
There's no war going on.
Oh, there is a war, bro. Welcome to 2020, because we don't like your fucking ideology. I don't know. Are you a liberal?
No.
Okay, well then you're good.
You fucking stop it!
Like that. Like that shit. This guy right here, bro. You need to get control of him. This guy right here, dog. Oh shit! Yo, fuck this bitch up. Yo, fuck this bitch. Fuck this bitch. Move, motherfucker. Get that fucking bitch. Fuck that bitch up. Stop her. Stop her. Stop her. She just ran over people. She just ran over people. Get her. Pull her out of the car. Get her out of the car.
I also had video of one guy who admitted that he had a gun on him. I'm just trying to paint a picture of how this was. So this was not a situation in which you had one side being violent and the other just being peachy keen. That's just absolutely not the case. As things escalated, the sheriff's department walked away. The Trump supporters and there was some really extreme right-wing extremists in there, including Capitol insurrectionists. They came across the street because the police had left and they'd gone upstairs to this like second story part of the mall. And things just escalated from there. She ended up trying to drive out of the parking lot and she hit a couple of people on the way out. So I'm not suggesting that there shouldn't be anything attached to that action. But my question is it really attempted murder?
Well, Tina, I've got to be careful here. I can't comment on an active case.
That's fair.
Particularly one in which I will, be handling if I'm fortunate enough to earn the trust of voters here and be elected. But I can speak generally, and I share a lot of your concerns. I actually haven't seen the video in this case. I've heard about it. I certainly know about Ms. Turner's case by broad strokes, and I think it's very problematic that you have a lone Black woman in a sea of angry racist. I think it's fair to say outwardly racist white folks who gets into her car. People are banging on her car, banging on the windows, and she's trying to escape. I have concerns about that, and look forward to looking closer at it.